Val Edward Kilmer was born on December 31, 1959, in Los Angeles, California. He was the second of three sons of Gladys Swanette, née Ekstadt, and Eugene Dorris Kilmer. His mother was of Swedish descent, while his father's ancestry included Irish, German, and Cherokee roots. Kilmer was 8 years old when his parents divorced in 1968. 2 years later, his mother remarried William Bernard Leach. His grandfather worked as a gold miner near the border of New Mexico and Arizona. Raised in a Christian Science household, Kilmer continued to follow those beliefs for much of his life. In 1977, his younger brother Wesley, who had epilepsy, tragically drowned in a jacuzzi at the age of 16. Kilmer attended Chatsworth High School, where he was classmates with Kevin Spacey. He also dated actress Mare Winningham during high school. At a young age, Kilmer made history as the youngest student ever accepted into the drama division of the prestigious Juilliard School, where he became part of Group 10. Kilmer turned down a role in the 1983 film The Outsiders due to prior commitments in theater. That same year, he starred in the off-Broadway play The Slab Boys, sharing the stage with Kevin Bacon, Sean Penn, and Jackie Earle Haley. His first television appearance was in an educational ABC after-school special called One Too Many, which tackled the dangers of drinking and driving. The show co-starred Michelle Pfeiffer and aired in 1985. During this time, Kilmer also published a book of poetry, My Edens After Burns, featuring works inspired by his time with Pfeiffer. His big break came with the 1984 comedy Top Secret, where he played a rock star, showcasing his singing abilities. He followed up with the 1985 comedy Real Genius and then gained widespread recognition as Iceman in Top Gun, 1986, alongside Tom Cruise. The film was a massive success, earning over $344 million worldwide. Kilmer continued his career with roles in television movies like The Murders in the Rue Morgue and The Man Who Broke 1,000 Chains. In 1988, he played Matt Mardigan in the fantasy film Willow, where he met his future wife, Joanne Whalley. That same year, he performed Hamlet at the Colorado Shakespeare Festival. Kilmer's career skyrocketed in the early 1990s. He portrayed Jim Morrison in Oliver Stone's 1991 film The Doors, a role that required extensive preparation, including studying Morrison's poetry and attending tribute concerts. Kilmer's dedication was so convincing that the surviving members of The Doors had difficulty distinguishing his voice from Morrison's. He went on to star in films like Thunderheart, The Real McCoy, and True Romance, where he played Elvis Presley. One of his most notable roles came in 1993 when he portrayed Doc Holliday in Tombstone. His performance was widely praised. In 1995, Kilmer starred alongside Al Pacino and Robert De Niro in Heat, which became one of the decade's most celebrated crime films. In 1994, he was chosen to replace Michael Keaton as Batman in Batman Forever. The film was a commercial success, though critics were divided on his performance. While some praised his portrayal, others preferred Keaton's take on the character. Ultimately, Kilmer declined to return for another Batman film, citing creative differences and scheduling conflicts with The Saint, 1997. Kilmer's career in the late 1990s and early 2000s was a mix of successes and disappointments. He starred in The Island of Dr. Moreau, 1996, with Marlon Brando, which was poorly received. However, he found success in The Ghost and the Darkness, 1996, and The Saint, 1997, where he played a master of disguise. He also voiced Moses and God in the animated film The Prince of Egypt, 1998. By the 2000s, Kilmer appeared in a variety of roles, including Red Planet, 2000, The Salton Sea, 2002, and Spartan, 2004. He returned to the stage in 2004, starring in a musical adaptation of the Ten Commandments as Moses. He later gained praise for his performance in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, 2005, though the film only received a limited release. In the 2010s, Kilmer continued acting but faced significant health challenges. He starred in The Traveler, 2010, and Twixt, 2011, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. In 2012, he received a Grammy nomination for Best Spoken Word. Around this time, he also developed and performed a one-man play, Citizen Twain, which later became the basis for his directorial debut, Cinema Twain, 2017. Kilmer reunited with his Top Gun co-star Anthony Edwards in the animated film Planes, 2013. He also made a surprise appearance in the finale of Psych. In 2020, he starred alongside his daughter, Mercedes Kilmer, in Patered. In 2021, the documentary Val was released, providing an intimate look into his life and career, including his battle with throat cancer, which significantly affected his voice. The film premiered at Cannes and received critical acclaim. Kilmer later reprised his role as Iceman in Top Gun: Maverick, 2022, reuniting with Tom Cruise decades after the original. Despite his health struggles, Kilmer's legacy in Hollywood remains strong, with his performances in The Doors, Tombstone, and Top Gun continuing to be celebrated. Val Kilmer was a lifelong Christian Scientist, and when he was diagnosed with throat cancer, he referred to it as merely the suggestion of throat cancer. Despite his faith's general opposition to medical treatment, he eventually opted to undergo chemotherapy. In 2011, Kilmer decided to sell his vast 6,000-acre ranch in New Mexico, where he had spent time hiking, fishing, and raising bison. Beyond his acting career, he had a deep love for music, releasing a demo album titled Sessions with Mick in 2007. Additionally, he was an avid painter, dedicating time to artistic expression. Throughout his life, Kilmer was romantically linked to several well-known figures, including Cher, Leslie Ann Warren, Cindy Crawford, Angelina Jolie, Daryl Hannah, and Ellen Barkin. He married actress Joanne Whalley in March 1988 after meeting her on the set of Willow. Their marriage lasted until February 1996, and they had 2 children, Mercedes Kilmer, born in 1991, who pursued acting, and Jack Kilmer, born in 1995, who followed the same path. Kilmer developed a reputation in Hollywood for being difficult to work with. His clashes with co-stars and directors became widely known, particularly his disagreements with Marlon Brando during The Island of Dr. Moreau and Tom Sizemore on Red Planet and Heat. Michael Biehn, Kilmer's co-star in Tombstone, once remarked that although he played alongside Kilmer, he never truly got to know him. Filmmakers who worked with him, such as Batman Forever director Joel Schumacher and The Island of Dr. Moreau director John Frankenheimer, described him as challenging, with Frankenheimer stating he would never work with Kilmer again. However, others had a different experience. Actress Mira Sorvino, who co-starred with him in At First Sight, defended him, calling him professional and respectful. Kilmer was actively involved in charity work, particularly aiding disaster relief in New Orleans following Hurricane Katrina. He also supported Native American rights and environmental conservation. At one point, he contemplated running for governor of New Mexico in 2010 but ultimately decided against it. In May 2013, he lobbied for the Equitable Access to Care and Health Act, which sought to provide religious exemptions from Obamacare's individual mandate. His battle with illness became public when he canceled a performance of Citizen Twain in 2014 after losing his voice. A lump in his throat led to further complications, and by January 2015, he was hospitalized for tests regarding a possible tumor. Despite downplaying the severity of his condition, reports later confirmed that he had been fighting throat cancer for 2 years. In April 2017, he stated that he had experienced a healing of cancer. However, later that year, The Hollywood Reporter revealed that he had undergone procedures that left his voice severely altered, requiring him to use an electric voice box to speak. Initially hesitant to seek medical treatment due to his religious beliefs, Kilmer eventually underwent chemotherapy and 2 tracheotomies. By 2020, he reported being cancer-free for 4 years but still relied on a feeding tube. In 2021, Kilmer worked with Sonantic, a software company, to digitally recreate his voice using artificial intelligence and past recordings. More than 40 vocal models were created to approximate his original voice. However, for Top Gun: Maverick in 2022, his voice was digitally altered rather than recreated through AI. Kilmer passed away on April 1, 2025, in Los Angeles at the age of 65 due to pneumonia. His death was met with an outpouring of tributes from the entertainment industry. Director Michael Mann, who worked with him on Heat, praised his depth and talent. Francis Ford Coppola described him as a joy to work with. Many others, including Ron Howard, Nicolas Cage, Cher, and Jim Carrey, honored his memory, reflecting on his contributions to film and the impact he had on their lives. In conclusion, Val Edward Kilmer had an estimated net worth of $10 million during the time of his demise. He accumulated this sum of money from his career and business ventures.